Hi. If you have been working on Arduino or wanting to learn about Arduino, then this video series would be suitable for you because what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the classic Arduinos as well as the modern Arduinos that are there out in the market and why and which one should you use. Now, if you have been using with Arduino boards so far, then you must have been working on a board like this. This is Arduino UNO R3 board, which has been there in the production or which has been there in use from, I don't even remember exactly. I started working onto these in the early 2010 or 2011, that kind of era. And it has been there. They are quite popular. They have sold or they have probably shipped tens of millions of these boards so far. And then because of the open source nature of Arduino, there have been a lot of manufacturers who have created their own versions of Arduino Uno board and they have been using. The speciality or why and how Arduino changed the microcontroller world is that when it comes to programming or creating embedded systems around Arduino Uno boards, you don't have to worry, you don't have to learn the architecture of this microcontroller chip completely. Instead, what you need to know is you need to know the pins available on these boards, and then Arduino ecosystem has created their own IDE where all you have to do is you have to reference these pins and write down your program. It basically creates or it basically gives an abstraction layer, which is very important for any new learner, because in that case what happens is the new learner is not required to go into the architecture, not required to learn the instruction set, not required to go into all the data direction register or any such configuration registers that a microcontroller has. That's the biggest superpower of Arduino. However, the Arduino Uno series or the classic Arduino series, which were built on top of mostly the ATmega series microcontroller, it solved the problem of that age. Currently, in the era that we are living in, we have more complex microcontrollers, we have more complicated architectures because they have added a whole new bunch of processing power to the microcontrollers family. Now, because of the more power, there is more complexity, the architectures are more complex, and again, the problem exists as before. You have to learn everything, you have to go into the architecture details to understand that microcontroller. A newer series of Arduino boards has recently been launched, something like this, which is an Arduino UNO R4 board. It solves the same problem, but for advanced microcontrollers with greater power. Again, I don't have to go into the details of this Renaissance microcontroller if I have to use this board. All I need to do is I need to understand the Arduino ecosystem, which is open source. You don't have to pay anything to buy an Arduino IDE or the software to write program for it. You just need to learn how to write code for it using the Arduino programming, and then you can use this board. The benefit is same, but with the additional power that comes with this latest microcontrollers. So recently, Arduino has evolved. It has evolved drastically because of the Qualcomm acquisition of Arduino. Normally, whenever any such larger merger happens, usually the parent company which has been doing the acquisition, like Qualcomm in this case, they tend to shut down the previous project and they tend to append new products or overlay onto the existing ecosystem. However, Qualcomm is not doing any such thing. All these classic Arduino UNO R3 boards are still available. You can use them. They are all yours to use now and in future. And because of the open source nature, you can always keep creating your own boards. But what has happened is they have added a whole bunch of new boards like this one I'm showing you here. Not just Arduino UNO R4 Wi-Fi, but there are a number of different boards. Specifically talking about Arduino UNO R4 board, it has got a Renesas series microcontroller, which is a 32-bit ARM Cortex-M4 architecture-based controller. The processing speed is greater. Now it's 48 megahertz. It has got 256 KB of flash. It has got USB-C connector right over here. And then the form factor is same as the Arduino Uno. So if you want to use, you have any hardware shields or anything that you have created which sits on top of it, the same will sit right on the top of this as well. Additionally, you will also see there is an ESP32 added onto the Arduino Uno board itself, and then you will see this LED matrix. It has got this nice LED matrix, 8 by 12 LED matrix that you can use for any kind of experimentation. If you ever go to the Arduino's official homepage, then you will see There are a number of different applications that they are now demonstrating. There are a number of different boards that you will see on their homepage. So this change is good. Don't be scared. Even if you are old schoolers like me, if you're starting new, it doesn't matter. Arduino is built for everyone. Whoever is interested to learn Arduinos, they can still just grab a board, go through some examples and look into it. However, what changes here is the sheer power that Arduino boards are now bringing into the mix. Previously, we were limited by a very simple Arduino 8-bit board. You can see them all over here as well, even today. But if you want to go and explore the newer product line, just go over here and you will see all the different new boards. So this is a new board and there are a lot of such boards. What I'm interested now is into Arduino UNO R4. Let's search Arduino UNO R4 Wi-Fi board. This is what's the interesting area for now, because this is a natural progression to the classic Arduino UNO board. What it gives you is a bunch of additional processing power at the same form factor. So this is the interest area for this course and this video series. So with this particular microcontroller, what are you getting? You are getting all these features that I have mentioned, but most importantly, what you're getting is all the Arduino pins are still 5-volt compatible. Remember, the core voltage on which this Renesas R4 M1 microcontroller is operating, it's still 3.3 volt, but the IO pins are 5-volt compatible, meaning any sensor, any shield that you have previously designed, it's still usable over here. Now, as I was saying, does it change anything for legacy developers? Yes, of course it changes a lot of things for legacy developer. First change is now you have, for the same code that you have before, now you have a board which has much more power than you were anticipating from the classic AVR based Arduino UNO board. But for the large part, the whole Arduino ecosystem as such is going to be open source. You can still download the IDE, you can still write your programs, you can still create a clone of Arduino UNO boards, the latest boards as well, if you want to. That's up to you. But you're getting the modern architecture and the devices. Now, adoption to these modern architectures is completely optional. If you are someone who is running a business, who has created a lot of products and they don't want to worry about it, that's fine too. But if you are someone like me, who always wants to stay on top of technologies, you want to revamp your products, you want to apply the processing power that comes with these new boards, you want to leverage all the new things that are happening in Arduino ecosystem, then switch over and simply start learning this new board. As I said, it has got a completely additional ESP32 coprocessor. So any kind of Wi-Fi or Bluetooth operations are completely offloaded to this coprocessor, keeping the Arduino free to do what you want it to do. It also means that your UNO board now has the Wi-Fi and Bluetooth connectivity. As I said, there is a 12x8 LED matrix as well. You have got a quick I2C connector. It has got an onboard real-time clock. It has got an onboard digital to analog converter, which was not there before. Onboard CAN bus, which was not there before, and it has also got its own operational amplifier, which we never had before. So this is all Arduino UNO R4. This is all about Arduino UNO R4. What are the possibilities? They're endless. It's just a way too big upgrade over the classic Arduino UNO R3 board. What I'm interested in doing is I'm creating a complete course around this board, and what we're going to see in that course is all this pin out, everything related to Arduino UNO R4. We're going to learn all features of Arduino UNO R4 board, but at the same time, what we are more interested into is how we can leverage the additional features that UNO R4 is bringing onto the table. That is, with this massive processing power, can we run the machine learning or AI onto the Arduino UNO boards? How we can leverage the Bluetooth and Wi-Fi to create IoT projects using Arduino UNO R4 board. I'm also going to focus on creating a complete sovereign IoT stack. I don't know how much you know about IoT, but we'll explain that more into this course. A sovereign IoT stack is something that you will build yourself and you can own it completely. You want to go to cloud? Fine, you go to cloud and build the same stack. You don't want to go to cloud and you want to keep everything local? You implement the same stack on any local computer that can act as a server, and you can run a whole IoT system locally within a manufacturing plant, within a building, within your college or university, however you want to. So, along with learning all the basics, this is the overall high level agenda for this course. I hope this video was informative to you. Thank you for watching.